guys, and welcome to another video lesson. Today we're going to be taking a look at the 3/4 polyrhythm. Right, before we get started, we should probably address what a polyrhythm is and what 3/4 is. Okay, so polyrhythm means more than one rhythm going on at once. That can be done in a number of different ways. The most crazy, scary, bonkers ways of doing that is to perhaps play one time signature with one hand and another time signature with another hand. Don't worry, we're not doing that today. Check out people like Virgil Donati. I think he can do a time signature with each limb, which is bonkers, but that's one example of polyrhythm. That's an extreme example. Another example might be playing two different note values at the same time, so triplets with one hand and quavers with the other, for example. Another definition, or example I should say, of polyrhythm is where you play different groupings together, and that's what we're going to be looking at today. So we're looking at the 3/4 polyrhythm. So what that means is we're taking a group of 3 and putting it where there would normally be a group of 4. So we're using semiquavers or 16th notes today, and they are normally grouped in 4s, 4 per beat, 1 eander, 2 eander, and so on. But we're going to be playing groups of 3 over the top of that. So 3/4. So if you imagine the music's written down here, and then we write our pattern above it, 3/4. That will become slightly clearer as we go on, and you'll see it as the music comes up on the bottom of the screen. You'll see what we're talking about as well. So we're going to start with 16th notes on the snare drum, and we're going to accent every third note. That will give us our 3/4. So going back to what I was talking about earlier, the accents are going across the top of the music. They're the 3 over the groups of 4 semiquavers underneath. And you'll be able to see that in a minute. When the music comes up on the screen, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. So we're going to play the semiquavers in single strokes on the snare drum and accent every third note. So 1 E and A, 2 E and A, E and A, 4 E and A. And then we're going to go back round. So there'll be a double accent, 4 E and A1, and we'll go round again. As with anything to do with accents, it's about stick height rather than force and power. So keep the unaccented notes nice and low and the accented notes nice and high. I'm going to be playing all of the examples from today's lessons at 70 beats per minute, but that is your target tempo. You do not have to start there. As with all of these lessons, if you need to pause the video, slow it down, go away and work on a pattern for a while before you come back and join me, that's absolutely fine. Here we go with the first idea at 70 beats per minute. Okay, so this time I'm going to orchestrate those accents. So exactly the same pattern again, but all of the accents that landed on the right hand, I'm going to play on tom 3, and all of the accents that landed on the left hand, I'm going to play on tom 1. All the unaccented notes, I'm going to keep them on the snare drum. So you'll have this movement across, up and down. This almost, oh look, it's a triangle. Where have we heard me talk about those before? Here it comes at 70 beats per minute. There are lots of different ways you could orchestrate those accents. You could use cymbals. We've already used 2 of the toms. There's another tom here you could use. You could combine the cymbals and the toms, and so on and so on. You might want to pause the video here and just experiment with moving those accents around. I've gone for tom 3 and tom 1 because of where they're positioned and because of the difference in sound. It's quite clear which one is which. Have a go at reorchestrating that previous example in as many different ways as you can. Okay, so now let's look at a different way of playing the groups of 3. We were using accents in the previous 2 examples. This time we're going to incorporate a foot and hand pattern. We're going to go for foot, right, left. Left is turn that around, foot, left, right. In fact, left is if I forget to mention your sticking patterns for the rest of the exercises, I do apologise, just turn all the right-handed stickings round. Okay, so foot, right, left. Now, because we're dealing with a polyrhythm, there's a couple of different ways to count this. You can count it like normal if you like, 1 eander, 2 eander, and just go all the way through the bar as you normally would do. You'll have to keep tabs on how many foot right lefts, how many groups of 3 you've played, so you know when to go back round to the beginning of the bar. The other way to do it is to count the new groups of 3 that we've squashed into our semiquaver bar, if you like. There are 5 groups of 3, that gives us 15 notes, and 1 spare. So you could count it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the spare could be and, or you could say 6. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, and so on. Or a combination of those two counting systems is also fine. Bottom line, when we're counting, we're doing it to help us get the right number of notes in the right place. You choose the option that works best for you. Here we go at 70 beats per minute. This time I'm going to take the exact same idea, but I'm going to orchestrate it. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to take the right lefts and move them around the kit in order. As I said earlier, we've got 5 groups of 3. Well, I've got 4 drums on this setup, so I'm going to have to come back round and play the snare drum again to finish the pattern. Got to be careful, as you probably noticed from the last one, and I don't think I mentioned it, apologies for this, there is a bass drum at the end. That last note, that remainder 1 if you like, that doesn't fit into our groups of 3, is on the bass drum. So there is that double bass drum as you go back round to the start of the pattern, just like we had with the accents in the first exercise. I've been rambling again, haven't I? I do apologise. Let me play the orchestration for you now at 70 beats per minute. So now let's put that orchestration in a 3-1 resolve. As with all of these resolves that I use in these lessons, I've gone for a fairly standard quaver groove because I want to focus on the new fill. If you want to change the groove, that's absolutely fine. We're looking for an even transition from the groove to the fill and then back round to the groove again and so on. Here we go. Let's use the same orchestration from last time. We'll go round the kit in order. Again, we need 5 drums, so we'll just keep going round until we've played the 5 groups of 3. I'm going to put the remainder on the snare drum as well. So we've done foot, right, left. Let's turn that round. Let's do right, left foot. Again, left is left, right foot for you. Now, when you get to the end of the bar, the remainder won't be on the bass drum this time. It will be on your non-dominant hand. For me, that's my left hand. Left is, that would be your right hand. So no extra foot at the end of the bar, an extra hand instead. So right, left foot, I'll play it on the snare and the bass drum to start with. Here we go. Right, so let's put that in a 3-1 resolve as well. Slightly easier this time, going from the end of the fill back to the groove, because we don't have the extra bass drum. It just lands on our left and we're straight up to the crash cymbal to start again. Here we go. So there you go, a really quick look at the 3/4 polyrhythm. There are many applications for this, and we will certainly dig deeper into this idea in future lessons. For now, just have a go at the examples we've looked at. Accents and orchestrating those accents, and then the 2 linear ideas, foot, right, left, and right, left foot. Apologies, lefties, turn that all around. Foot, left, right foot. You get the idea. Have a go at reorchestrating the patterns. Don't just take my word for it. The orchestrations I've used were fairly predictable, just moving around the drum kit in the order that the drums appear. Nothing wrong with that, but there are plenty of other options that you could experiment with and have some fun with. What other 3-note patterns can be used other than the ones that we've used today? As I've said before, experiment, have some fun, find examples that you want to use in your playing. That's it for today's lesson, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. If you've got any questions, please feel free to get in touch. If you're watching this on YouTube, leave a comment down below. I will get back to you as soon as I can. Stay safe, guys, and enjoy your drumming.